Well, hey there, everybody. It's Colin Mattoon. I'm the Ministry Director for Good News Clubs of Southern Nevada, and we are glad to be with you today. Vicki Hall, my trusty associate, is here as well, and we wanted to welcome you to our new year of Good News Clubs. We are ready to kick off our new clubs that are launching here in a couple weeks. We know so many of you are excited to get rolling. And so we wanted to just bring you just a short training video with some helpful reminders and some encouragement to you as you get started this year. So first of all, we just want to say welcome, and we want to thank you for serving the Lord so faithfully. We know this year God is going to do great things in you, in your team, in your kids, in your club, and you are going to make an eternal impact in the lives of these kids. So Vicki, what do you want to tell us here to start?
Well, where do we begin? The best place to begin is always with prayer. So we want to make sure that ahead of time you're praying for your club that's coming up. You know, pray alone, pray with your other leaders. Get together and pray for the kids. Pray for the kids by name as you find out who they are. And then when we get into club, we want to teach those kids to pray. We want to make sure that we're modeling prayer and that we're having them learn to pray.
Mm-hmm. Another important element is preparation. So Vicki, talk to us about preparation.
Right. We need to know where we're going. Things always run so much smoother if you've planned ahead of time. So no matter what your part is, you need to know what you're going to be doing. Maybe you're a scheduler and you're going to be setting up the schedule for that club. That's great. We need that timing so that we can get the kids back out to their parents at the right time. Maybe you're going to be checking kids in, or do the name tags, do the snacks, whatever it is you want to know what you're going to be doing.
So it's important to prepare. It's also important to communicate with your team. One of the most important things we can do is communicate and know what one another are doing. One of the ways to make your first club really uncomfortable, really nerve-wracking, really anxiety-filled is to not communicate with each other and not know what the rest of your team is going to be doing that day in club. So make sure you're communicating with each other. All right, so Vicki, how should someone be thinking about preparation? What should that include?
Well, if you're going to be doing any of the teaching, you want to make sure that you know what the lesson is about. So a good way to do that is start out with that overview and with the outline of the lesson. You want to read the scripture, pray about it so that God can use that in your heart. And then you want to make sure you read this introduction part, because it tells you those key things that we're trying to get across to the kids.
So it's important as we're preparing and thinking about club that we don't just look at our one section. So if I was going to teach the memory verse, I don't just want to look at that. I want to look at the whole overview and know everything that's going to happen in the club that day, right?
Right. Understand what the goals of that lesson are.
Well, that's great. So talk to me more about preparation. What should we know and remember when it comes to songs specifically?
Well, for songs, you want to learn them. Lots of times we just kind of see the songs as a filler and an activity for the kids, but they've got good messages, and we want to be sure that we can get up there and that we can sing them and that we can do those motions so that the kids are encouraged to do that. So have somebody who's going to be the song leader, and they know that, practice the songs.
And this is the part where it's important to encourage you, especially if you're new. Man, it is okay to be a little bit crazy when you're singing those songs. For you as an adult, it might feel a little uncomfortable or crazy. If that's how it feels to you, it's feeling just right for those kids. They're going to be excited and engaged, and that's a good thing. And this is also a place where it's a good idea for you to try and get those kids involved too, and kids leading. So if you've got a kid who's really good at the songs, they learn the moves, they know the songs, that kind of thing, have them come up and help lead.
Right. And they feel empowered with that. They love getting up there and leading. Another thing you want to make sure you do when you're preparing your section is to check the margins. The margins in here always have good things for you. They might tell you what's in the curriculum pack that you need to get out to go with your part. Yeah. Or they might suggest something that you could do, an object lesson or something. So make sure you're checking that out in your book.
That's a really good point. What specific encouragements do you have for teams when they're in there for their first week? What do we need to remember when we're launching our club and it's our first gathering?
Well, we need to make sure that we are doing everything to check in. We've got to check those permission slips, make sure they're filled out the whole way, they're signed, and they're legible, so you can understand, so that you can read them. And then we want to make sure that we're keeping it a good attendance roster, so we know who is in our club, who's supposed to be there, and who never checked in. And then we want to be ready to. We want to be sure we tell those kids to go to the restroom before they come into club. That's the best way, is if they don't have to go during club. But if they do, we want to make sure that we take them out and that we have at least 2 adults is good. Sometimes that's impossible. 1 adult out there with them in the hallway. And then also we want to make sure that we're organized and prepared for that dismissal. It always comes so fast. Before you know it, it's time to go, and we need to know what we're going to do to keep the kids safe. So
that's right, because we are responsible for those kids until they get back to the parents at the front of the building. As long as they're in that building, they're our responsibility, right?
That's right. So you want to set up groups for walking and safe key and being picked up. You want to make sure that those kids know that they're not to leave without letting you know. High five them, come talk to you. Walk out as much as you can, meet the parents, get to know them too.
Yeah. Well, we're excited for you as you kick off your year. If you have any questions or need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to Vicki or myself. We are here for you. We want to help you succeed and have a great time in doing it. And that is maybe the most important thing we want to tell you and encourage you with. Have fun.
Yes.
Have fun as you get to meet with these kids and their parents as well. And thank you again for how you're serving. God bless you, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.